Hi, I'm Peter Woolley and today I'm in the Lake District and I'm on the hunt for crags and tarns, waterfalls and great views. And to get those great views we have to go climb a mountain. So let's go climb a mountain. Right, so I've been walking for a while now, following the footpath as it winds its way up into the hills, and it's been quite a walk, but absolutely more than worth it. What about that then? I'm going to hop over the beck and make myself a quick pencil sketch. Well, I've wandered around looking for a good position, and I think I like this one because it's got a little bit of everything. Okay, so the main thing with a scene like this, which is quite complex and there's a lot happening, is to just get the main shapes established quite early on. I've got the rocks in the background, which I'll just pencil in the outline first. I have to do this before putting in any serious details. The hill just comes round like that. Okay, the water drops down the waterfall there, which I'm just establishing the direction of flow first. Disappears behind the rocks there, and it reappears just here. There's rocks in the foreground. And then the beck finally drops down there. Okay, so I've got my main layout established. A few more rocks. I'm going to start shading in some of the darker areas. The thing about the waterfall is it's white, or the water is white, and with white water what we have to do is shade around it, sort of negative shading, so we create the highlight of the water by actually not drawing it but drawing around it. There we go. The rocks are actually quite dark where they're wet. See the curves of the land there? It's the contours which we have to try and explain away. All right, there's a whole area of grass there which doesn't have any rocks on it at all, which is quite useful to the composition. Just a little more shading in. The sun's out. And when the sun comes out, then we get the sharp shadows, we get the lights and the darks, and this is the point at which it's important to establish where the lightest areas are and where the darkest areas are. Because there's so much going on up there, it's important to decide what to leave in and what to leave out. The sketching process is a filtering process. A little bit of tidying up now. But again, just redrawing the outer shape of the rocks, because as a preliminary sketch it's got to mean something to me when I get it back into the studio. We've got to be careful not to put too much in and not to confuse myself. There we go. Well, I think I'm happy with that. I've got all the basic information I need there to be able to work it up to a painting in the studio. I'm just going to take a quick photograph as a backup. And now I'm going to move on a little bit higher to the tarn. I've climbed to almost 2,000 feet and now I'm sat by one of Lakeland's highest tarns, and it's absolutely glorious. I've found a perfect position here. I've got some rocks in the foreground and I'm looking out across the surface of the water to the distant crags. So I'm now going to do a line and wash sketch of the view. I'm going to begin by mixing up some Prussian blue and applying a loose wash, mainly to the sky, but also using it to shape the line of the crags there on the hillside. Now this is as I say, this is a really loose wash, because what I'm going to do in a moment is switch to the ink pen. A little bit of Prussian blue in there. There we go, a little bit of that. Just something for the sky. Say it's loose. It's almost an impression, almost abstract in places. I'm going to bring that right down to there. It's quite cold here. I'm having to work quite reasonably quickly. There's a rock in the foreground. I'm going to leave a little bit of a highlight for that. I'm going to drop a little bit of cadmium yellow into the Prussian blue for the green. It doesn't matter if it's not accurate at this point. It doesn't matter if the colours bleed together, because all will be revealed when I start applying the ink pen. There we go. I'm actually deliberately encouraging two colours to bleed together there. Leaving a few little highlights along the way, take it right along the edge, like so. And from the foreground, put some grasses. Drop a bit of yellow where the grasses are going to be. And you're going to have to trust me on this, because, say, at this moment in time, it's all looking quite loose and a little bit wild, but it will come together. All right, I think that's probably going to do for my first watercolour wash. And I need to just wait a few moments for that to dry off. I can't apply the ink pen until the wash has dried. So I'm making the most of this sunlight. There we go, nice bright sunshine to dry it off. Just a couple minutes more, we'll be right there.